Good morning, Spicy Margie. We'll see if it's Spicy Margie today. So we're going to dive into today's exercise, but I wanted to very quickly, before I forgot, let you know that Intuit is changing again. Well, QBO is changing again. So if you have been listening to the UQB podcast, which I co-host with Alicia Katz-Pollock, we have been talking about the new bank feed. Alicia has actually been talking about it for a while because she was a beta tester. And so she's been talking about the new bank feed process experience. And then we talked about it in the episode of the podcast that dropped yesterday. We talked more. If you're not subscribed to that podcast, please subscribe to the podcast. Lindsay can put that link in the post so you can find out. It's called the Unofficial QuickBooks Accountants Podcast. I'm a guest host once a month, and my episode was dropped yesterday. And one of the things we talked about was the new bank feed experience. Now, I had not seen it. I have not seen it show up. However, I heard through the grapevine other people that it was starting to show up in their accounts. And I was really jealous about it. So I went online and I said, I like Googled it, whatever. And Hector Garcia, because Hector Garcia somehow knows everything, Hector Garcia did a whole video. I haven't watched it. It's like 45 minutes, whole video on the new bank feed experience. So, Lindsay, if you could post that in the chat too, the video from Hector, as soon as it is in the sample company. So Arlene, you said you've noticed it while doing the gym exercise. I have not seen it in the sample company. As soon as we have access to it in the sample company, we will record we'll re-record our videos, or not the video, well, the videos eventually, but we'll re-record the exercises and snapshots and everything. We'll guide you through it. I just haven't seen it personally. So, yeah, so as soon as we can get it, we will incorporate everything, okay? The other thing is not just the bank feeds, and this I learned while filming with Alicia, is that the entire experience inside QBO is changing. It is a dramatic difference. She showed it to me, even though it was supposed to be super secret. She showed it to me, and that was the first time I was like, oh, shoot, I can't say anything. But then I happened to notice that Hector also posted a whole video about it. So I guess it's not secret anymore. And anyway, it's entirely different. I'm talking entirely different. So yeah, we have a lot of work to do here at Acadian to update all of our materials with all of that. So Lindsay can post the link in there to that other video where she talks about just the whole, or Hector talks about just the whole experience. Yeah, complete redesign. Thank you. I couldn't remember what I called it. Complete redesign. So I want you to know that I know about this, and that Acadian will, because I know how it works. In fact, Lindsay, if you could make a note to send those two links to Anthony also. So, because we're going to start getting our help desk, and everyone's going to start saying, when is Acadian going to update their materials? Then, like we know we're working on it. Okay. Yeah, Ashley said, Margie just gave me another idea. When a potential client tells me he can do the QBO himself, QBO is constantly changing. You cannot keep up with it, so he better hire me. Yeah, well, that's true. And that's true actually about accounting in general. Not accounting. Accounting doesn't change, but taxes change. That's why you have a tax pro whose job it is to study all of the different taxes so that you as the business owner are freed up to actually do your business. Okay. All right. I wanted to just cover those couple of things before we get started. My name is Margie Remmers-Davis. I am the founder and CEO of Acadian Accounting Education, and this is our weekly live stream, which we hold every week every Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time inside of our free Facebook group called the QBO Gym Locker Room. The QBO Gym Locker Room is your spot for hands-on practice using QuickBooks Online. That's all we do all day, every day, hands-on practice, hands-on practice, hands-on practice. You cannot learn how to ride a bicycle from watching a YouTube video. You cannot learn how to do bookkeeping without actually clicking the buttons and doing it. So come join. If you're live on this call, that means that you are already in the locker room. This little intro is for all of the folks watching the replay on YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, come join us so that you can interact. We have fun. As you can see, we can talk. You can ask questions. So yeah. All right. So as a member of the locker room, in addition to this live stream and interacting with me and everybody on Fridays, you also get a free QBO Quick Start course. So if you are currently in the locker room, I saw there were I listed off how many new people, okay? All of you new people got a free QBO Quick Start course that was emailed to you when you joined, okay? So if you do not know where that is, if you haven't seen it, if you didn't remember, get the email or whatever, please email us support@acadian.com. And we will look into what's happening with your email account. We have been having massive issues with our emailing system, and we are in the middle of transitioning to a new platform that's hopefully going to address this and be better. But we have so many people that are saying, oh, I didn't get that email. I didn't get that email. So please email us at support@acadian.com. Lindsay just put it in the chat so that you can see, or we can look in your account and see what's happening. Okay. All right. Also, as a member of the locker room, you have access to over 100. It's probably close to 200 now. It's so many free exercises that you can follow along. You go right into the QBO sample company, you follow along, you click the buttons, you're actually doing it. Okay. Like I said, you can't learn how to ride a bicycle from watching a YouTube video. All of those awesome YouTube video people are out there and I love them all. Like everybody that teaches classes, I love, but we are the only ones that give you that hands-on opportunity to actually do it. So when you, people are always asking, where do I find the free exercises? Here's how you find them. Okay. Well, first of all, they were emailed to you when you joined the locker room. So again, if you didn't get the email, send us an email so that we can look into what's happening. Okay. So number one, it's in your welcome email. Number two, it is in the featured section of the Facebook group. Okay. So here is the Facebook group. There's a featured tab up here at the top. There's also these tiles for featured. And right here, welcome to the locker room. Over 100 free hands-on exercises. Now, because there are so many on that page, I'm told that it sometimes can take a little bit to load. So when you click it, please give it a minute. And we are looking into ways we're going to chop it up so that it's not loading everything at once. But that's in the works and it's coming. But anyway, so that's how you get your free exercises. And then of course you get a free exercise of the week, which is what we're doing today. And today actually is a bonus because we're doing 2 exercises. And that just turned out beautifully because last week, was it just last week, guys? Or was it 2 weeks ago? I can't remember. I was out of town. Usually when I'm out of town, like today in San Diego, I try and do the live stream from wherever I am. But last Friday, I couldn't. And so, or the Friday before, I don't know. time is wibbly wobbly. All right. If anybody who knows that reference gets bonus points from me, by the way. Time being wibbly wobbly. All right. So, oh my gosh, Deb, you are my new best friend. Okay. All right. So, um, so, now see, Deb, I lost my train of thought. All right. So anyway, we did not have an exercise that one week because I was traveling. So now we're going to have two exercises. One of them is going to be very, very short. But it gives us those two exercises. Anyway, so you get a free exercise of the week. Now, everything that I've talked about so far, free Facebook group, free hands-on practice, free QBO Quick Start, free exercises, all of that good stuff, free live stream, free. Everything's free, okay? But we do have a subscription course called the QBO Gym. Oops, that's not the right one. That's not the right one either. This one. There we go. So the QBO Gym is an opportunity for you to practice being a bookkeeper with a fictitious business owner for a full year. Now, if you have ever said to yourself, I wish that I could be an intern for somebody. I wish that I could just like shadow somebody to see like what actually is bookkeeping. If you've ever said, well, I got my certification, but I still don't actually know what I'm doing, or like, what would I be doing as a bookkeeper every day? If you have asked those questions, that's why we created the QBO Gym. You get to be a business owner, or you get to be a bookkeeper for a fictitious business owner, and you have to record all of the things that happen to him in his business throughout the year. So, oh, Francis says, QBO Gym is the best. Just finished year 1 and ready to tackle year 2. Excellent. Oh, Ashley says, I wish there was a gym like this for tax as well. That could be Margie's next project. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see. But anyway, so yes, so you get to be a business owner, or you get to be a bookkeeper for a fictitious business owner, and you get to a whole year's worth of experience in about 42 real-time hours. So each month takes you about 3 to 4 hours. You do everything from when you sit down in the morning, you process bank feeds, you send invoices, you receive payments, you record deposits. Every month, something new happens in Craig's world that you then have to record, and then at the end, you reconcile all of the accounts and run reports. Okay, and well, I shouldn't even say this, but it's too late now. Cat's out of the bag. And the gym is going to be later this year, fully revamped and improved, and it's going to be amazing. All right. So, is there any limited hours that I can do in the gym per month or per day? No, you can do it as long as you want. It takes, like I said, each month takes about 3 to 4 hours, which is pretty standard for a simple bookkeeping client. And so you can put your mind to it and get the whole, you can get the whole year done in about 42 hours. And then you get a certificate at the end that says that you have a year's worth of experience. And there's also year 2. At the end of year 2, you get a certificate that says you have 2 years of experience bookkeeping. All right. So I don't have, that's what I forgot to pull up. I forgot to pull up. Here, let me stop my screen share. Kathy says, if you finish the whole year, can you do it again? You can. But you don't get Booksmatch credit the second time you go through it. So let me see. This is what I forgot. So Booksmatch, Sherry's our winner this week. Okay. Let's see, share. So everything that you do in the QBO Gym is tied to your Booksmatch account. Booksmatch is our proprietary dashboard where you can track the skills that you are learning in QBO. So, and you get listed in our Booksmatch directory so that people who can find who are looking for a bookkeeper, and we have so many exciting things happening for that too, that I can't talk about yet. But anyway, so Sherry is our top person today, changes all the time. But anyway, so somebody could go in, look for a bookkeeper, and here is everything that you do in the gym is tracked in this proprietary dashboard. And the dashboard so you can see Sherry has verified 539 skills, and so you can drill down on anything and find out more like what exactly she was working on. Here you can see how she compares. You can do this. You have your own Booksmatch dashboard, so you can see this for yourself. You can see how you compare to everyone else in the pool. Now, that ranking that you saw before is based on three things. First, it's based on knowledge. So right here we have our knowledge indicator, and this is just how much the entire time that you have been in the QBO gym, how many skills you have verified from the beginning. But we don't want to penalize people who are brand new. If you're brand new, then we don't want you to have to fight for comparison with somebody who's been in forever. And so we have this other metric, which is speed. Now, speed is not how quickly you get through an exercise, but it's how many exercises you get in, how many skills you earn. Some of the exercises have multiple skills. How many skills you earn in an entire week. Okay, so if you're brand new and you're like kicking butt and you do a ton of skills, then that's going to balance out. But the most important metric is actually this one in the middle here, which is consistency. We want to know that you are consistently upskilling and learning more and practicing and being better. See, here's the thing. This is what makes Booksmatch such a better recruitment tool than just anything else. If you just say that, if you just submit a resume is just like whatever you put on it, okay? And if you say, oh, I have, 20 years of experience, well, that just means you're old. It doesn't mean that you're any good. So, and so by having the consistency, you demonstrate that you are continually upskilling, continually available for work. Now, because we want you to always be having, consistently working, that's why we have the exercise of the week, because eventually you'll get to a point where you will have done everything. You'll have done all of year one, all of year two. That's why I just said you don't get Booksmatch credit for redoing the same stuff. That's why we have an exercise of the week. But the great thing is because we have this exercise of the week, we now have a new exercise every week or something to highlight for everybody else as well. So that's why we do this locker room live. Okay. So does working through the Pro Advisor test prep count towards the Booksmatch qualifications? No, it is only the QBO gym. Currently only the QBO gym is what's tied to Booksmatch. All right. So here is the exercise of the week. The exercise of the week is a separate course in your dashboard for those of you who are subscribed to the gym. It is unlocked when you earn 250 points. Okay, so everything in the gym is gamified. So as you are working through it, there's ka-chings and bells and whistles and hurrahs and all sorts of things to encourage you to keep going. When I created it, my vision was Duolingo for bookkeepers. And so you're earning points that whole time. You can check how many points you have at any time and this is not related to the skills in Booksmatch, because like I said, sometimes exercises have multiple skills. You can check at any time by clicking this little arrow, and it will tell you, oh, my test account doesn't have any points, but you can tell right here how many points you have accumulated. And this actually, I'm on the exercise of the week, not on the gym. So I would need to go to the gym, click that. Here, my test account has 105 points. So my test account does not qualify for QBO Gym. All right. So if you have it unlocked, okay, if you are subscribed to the gym and you have exercise of the week unlocked, you need to use the link inside here to get your Booksmatch credit. Okay, Lindsay's going to put the link in the chat and that link is only for the people who either don't have a subscription, so this is your free exercise for if you don't have a subscription, or if you have a subscription but it's not unlocked yet. Okay, so that's the link that Lindsay is putting in. We're just going to do the first one. We're going to do both of these exercises, but we're just going to do the first one right now. Okay, so let's get started. Enough chit chat. Let's get our hands dirty and do some hands-on practice. All right, today we are going to be talking about what to do when you have to void a check. Okay, so I'm going to click this right here, click to learn about voiding a check. And then everyone else, you either do it from your account or you do it in the chat box right there. Okay. All right. So here I am. Here is here's the exercise. A while ago, Craig sent check number 70 to Chin's Gas and Oil for $185, but he just received a call saying that the check was never received. You will need to void the check in QuickBooks. Okay, so that's one reason to void a check. Another reason to void a check is if you wrote it wrong and you have to scratch it out. Checks in particular, you want to make sure that you void and not just delete the transaction because they're numbered. So if you have, check number 101, and then you suddenly have check number 103, then everyone's going to be like, well, what happened to check 102? Okay, so it's super important, especially for checks, that you void it, not delete it. The other thing is, if we're talking about other transactions, so if it's just like an expense transaction and you enter it and they're like, oh crap, that was wrong, and immediately you want to redo it, you can delete it. It's okay to delete it like right then. Okay. But if it's in there for a while and other eyeballs have seen it, then you want to make sure and void it, and then you'll put a note as to why you're voiding it. Okay. Actually, I don't think the exercise has us putting a note, but we should. Okay. So this is the first one. This is very simple. By the way, I forgot to mention, this concept is tested on the Level 2 Pro Advisor Certification test. Okay. So for those of you who are studying for that, then pay attention. This exercise is also in the course so that you can practice it. And also, if you're brand new and, throughout the month, Ashley, I'll get to that in just one second. Ashley's asking how to open up QBO. Well, I'll cover that in just one second. I forgot my train of thought. See this, I get distracted by the chats. I don't remember what I was saying. If somebody remembers what I was saying and I need to finish, it's okay, Ashley. That's why we're here. We have, this is a live interactive thing. It's okay. If someone remembers what I was saying before I got distracted, then let me know. But I'm just going to go on with the exercise. I was talking about how it's okay to delete if you did it and you immediately noticed it was wrong. But if reports have gone out, you want to make sure and void. And then for checks, You always want to avoid it, even if you caught it right away. Okay. Oh yeah, this is a level 2 testing. Thank you. This concept is tested on the level 2 pro. Oh, that's what I was saying. Throughout the month, at the beginning of the month for the locker room lives, we cover basic concepts. And then as the month progresses, we get harder and harder. Okay. So we're at a level 2. This is a level 2 concept. If you're brand new to bookkeeping, brand new to QBO, this might be a little bit over your head. That's okay. What I like to say is even if you don't absorb all the water, you're still going to get wet. Okay. So you're still going to be like exposed, and maybe you won't remember how to do it, but you'll remember that, oh yeah, that's a thing I have to look up, look it up. Okay. All right. So we do all of these exercises in the QBO sample company. Now, this exercise is walking you through how to get to the sample company from inside your QBOA account, okay? Your QBO accountant's account. If you do not have a QBO accountant's account, then Lindsay, if you'll put in, I think you have the link for the everything document, which is everything you ever wanted to know about QuickBooks Online Pro Advisor Academy and certification. It's a mouthful, but it covers all about how to get your free account. And of course, the QBO Quick Start, I forgot about that. The free course that we gave you also has how to get how to get your QBOA account, your accountant's account, what makes the accountant's account different than a regular subscription that business owners have, and all of that. So you can access the sample company inside your QBOA account. But we here at Acadian have created, and Lindsay put this in the chat too, a little quick link for you. So you can just go to acadian.com/QBOA, and that will take you directly to the sample company. So I'm going to click I'm not a robot, click continue. And boom, here we are in the sample company, Craig's Design and Landscaping Services, our best friend. Okay, so, all right, so here, where did the exercise go? Okay. So, again, we're going to find this check and we're going to void it. Okay, so here's all the information about the exercise. All right. So here is my first instruction. From the left nav bar, hover over expenses and click expenses. Now you'll notice that on my screen, I have a button that says guide me, okay? All of our exercises are built using a program called Scribe, and Scribe has a Google extension that you can install. And it looks like this. So if you go to right here, Scribe AI documentation, looks like this little thing. So if you go to your Chrome web store and you're using Google Chrome and you install this extension, then when you are doing our exercises, you'll have this little guide me link. And if I click it and then I click confirm, magic happens. Magic happens. All right, I'm going to turn off. You have an option to have it just show you one step at a time. I'm going to turn that off so that we can, so that I can scroll that. So I can scroll it. You can drag it. I'm going to drag it here so it can be a little bigger. And Lindsay just put in the chat. Oh, thanks, Deb. Deb says, if you get a web page that says something went wrong, you may have logged out of Scribe and need to sign back in. You should not need a Scribe account, I don't think, in order to use the plugin. But anyway, Lindsay just put in an exercise that walks you through how to do what I just said, how to install the plugin, how to get your side panel going, all of that stuff. Okay. All right, so here we go. So from the left nav bar, hover over expenses and click expenses. Expenses and then expenses. Now, if you are brand new to QBO, one thing I want to point out is this right here on the left, this is going to take us to the expenses center. And see how there's these drop downs, expenses, bills, bill payments, etc. When I go to expenses, these tabs up at the top mirror what I saw here. Okay, so I went to the first one, which is expenses, but I could also have gone to vendors, for example, right here. Okay, all right, so that's where we are. Now, what we have to do is we have to find that check that we're going to void. That's what we're doing. And there's lots of ways to find the checks. We're just going to go through this the way that we've set it up in the exercise for right now. How you find the check is not important. It's just the voiding part of it, okay? So for this one, we're gonna filter the transaction list to narrow down the list to only Chin's gas and oil transactions, okay? So we're gonna click the filter icon. There's the filter icon. Then in the payee field right here, we're gonna select, and this is a vendor. It's a check we've paid. So the vendors are always at the bottom. This, by the way, was something that I was so confused about from when I first got started, because I'd be like, why it's not in there? Why isn't it in there? Well, because customers are always listed first and then vendors. Okay. All right. So I'm going to, this is a check we wrote. So we wrote it to a vendor, and I'm going to Chin's Gas and Oil. And then I'm going to click apply. All right, so here is check number 70 that we need to void. And I'm just going to hit the down arrow right there. And then I'm going to click void. Are you sure you want to void the transaction? Okay. Notice that the transaction is still here, check 70, and it's $0. And that's it. That's it. That's the easy part. That's how you void a check. Okay. But here's the issue, is that you only want to void a check if it was written in the current period. Okay. The current period hasn't closed out yet. So you can make, you haven't run your reports, you haven't like given anybody anything to anybody. So you can just void it, no big deal, and move on. Okay. So what happens? Oh yeah, yes, we should have added a memo. That's right. So I could go in, I can view and edit. If you void it that way, Val, it's a good point. You cannot add a memo. So here QBO added the memo. You could say check lost. Good point. I could even write more details. Got a call from Chin's Gas and Oil and they never received the check and blah, blah, blah. Okay. All right. So, all right. So that's super, super simple way. So if it is, I don't know if you can search by check number, maybe. I don't remember. There's just lots of ways to go about it. Let's talk about what you would do if it was a closed period. Okay, so that's our next exercise, is what to do if it is a closed period. Okay, so I am going to go back to which tab? That tab? Yeah, right here. And I'm going to do this other exercise, which is voiding a check in a closed period, which is a little bit more involved. So in a closed period, you want the check is still going to be there, but the zero balance is going to be in the different period. I mean, you're going to have your check, and then you're going to have a balancing transaction. Ooh, suddenly my camera's okay. You're going to have a balancing transaction that zeroes it out. So let's see how to do that. Okay. So I'm going to close that. All right. So here's how we void a check in a prior period. Okay. So a while ago, Craig wrote a check to Books by Bessie, check number 12. Bessie just reached out to Craig to let him know that the check was never received. And by the way, little bookkeeping tip. If you are reconciling every month, like you should be, you will notice when a check has not been cashed. Okay. You'll notice it because when you're doing the reconciling, it'll keep showing up and you're not checking it off. It's not going through the bank, not going through the bank, not going through the bank. So you could actually be proactive and write to the vendor and say, hey, I see you haven't checked. I see you haven't checked, I see you haven't cashed the check that I sent. Is everything okay? And they may just say, oh yeah, I just haven't gotten around to it. Or they may say, oh, I never got it. So then you would have like that conversation. Okay, so it's not always going to be the vendor's going to reach out to you. Like you could be proactive about it. All right. So, anyway, the check was written in a prior period. Take a look at the steps below to see how to handle this. Val says it is very important for payroll checks that you write manually as well. Absolutely. Yeah. Payroll. Yep, sure. All right, so let's do this one. Okay, so same thing. We're going to start in the sample company. I still have my sample company open. So the first thing we have to do is always locate the check. Okay, so I'm going to do our little magic guide me. And I want to turn that off because I prefer scrolling. Goes a little faster. All right, so this time we're gonna, instead of going to expenses and filtering by Chin's Gas and Oil, now we're just gonna go to the vendors list. It's just another way to do it. Expenses and then vendors. And then we're gonna click Books by Bessie. And I'm going to close some of these. So I'm going to just close that. So I have some more room here. Okay. And here is check number 12. Okay. Now, the only reason that, so I don't want to go void right here because this is in a closed period. Okay. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to view it to get some details about it. Okay. So obviously the bank account is checking. The payment date, we need to note the payment date, okay? We need to note the category that we had recorded this check for, and we need to note the amount because we're going to need this information later, okay? So I'm going to go to click More and then click the Transaction Journal. And I'm going to close that again so you can see better. All right, so for those of you who are brand new and you are not familiar with debits and credits, don't worry, just just let the water splash on you. We're not going to have a debits and credits lesson today. There are lots of YouTube videos of me talking about debits and credits and like how it all works. And this is a foundational concept in our bookkeeping fast track course. So if you need to learn the basic fundamentals of bookkeeping, if you only know, just knowing the software is not enough. You have to know the basic fundamentals of bookkeeping, and that's why we have our bookkeeping fast track course. Rashida says, I'm letting the water splash on me today. All right, that's fine. That's good. That's good because you get exposed to it. And then later you're like, oh, okay, I get it. Now it all makes sense. And like, to look for something. Okay. When I first moved to I moved to Washington, D.C. after college, and my friend and I that I moved with, this was of course before iPhones and GPS and like all that stuff. And we got so lost. We got so lost. And then a couple of years later, I was driving around and I went to this place and I was like, oh, I remember getting lost here before. So it's kind of the same thing. Like Rashida, you'll be like, oh, I remember getting lost here before. All right. So anyway, so we're looking at the transaction journal so we can see that, oh, Brenda. So Brenda just said those aha moments are awesome. Did I tell you guys that I have been dubbed the aha queen of accounting education? So this the MC for the event that I'm speaking at tomorrow gave everybody, said I want to crown everybody with something. So come up with like something that is meaningful to you, that like really captures who I want you to be, like America's best whatever, the queen of whatever. And so I spent some time with ChatGPT, and together we came up with the aha queen. So I love it. I love it. So it's going to be official tomorrow when she dubs me that. All right. So anyway, so here we are back to our transaction journal. So the checking account is an asset account. Okay. So this is the check that we wrote. This is the check that we wrote to Bessie. Money came out of the checking account. The checking account is an asset, which means it lives on the left-hand side. And when there's less of it, we move it onto the credit side. If you don't understand that, get Booking Fast Track or watch some of my other videos, okay? So there's less in it, so it's on the credit side. And then the legal and professional fees is an expense. The expense lives on the left-hand side, lives on the debit side, and is increased. There's more in there, and that's why it's on the debit side. Okay. All right. Anna, thank you. Anna says Fast Track is amazing. I finished all and can't wait for the rest to be released, which should be today. All right. Yes, Ashley says in accounting world, credit of cash reduce the cash balance, which is opposite to the bank statement. Yes, and we go into detail about like why that is. We don't talk about there. Oh, Brenda, you're gonna love it. Brenda says, I'm so looking forward to the payroll module that's happening. I think it's happening today. Um, and anyway, I know there are some people that talk about how it's different for us because of the way that the bank records it. I don't go into detail about that because I don't think it matters. What matters is that you understand in your books how the debits and credits work. All right, so now that we've done that, what we're going to do, remember I said we have the one transaction in the prior period, which has the amount, the $55 reduced. Now we're going to have a transaction in the current period, which increases that. So this was reduced, this is increased, and now we're going to, well, from the checking account perspective, and now we're going to balance those out. Okay. So what kind of transaction adds money to the checking account? I should wait for you guys to respond, but it's already on the screen, so you know, a deposit, right? So it's going to be a deposit. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. I've got to open up my thing again. All right, so I'm going to do a, so Jonathan says debit. Yes, you're correct. It's a it'll show up as a debit on the debits and credits, but the transaction type is a deposit. Okay, so we're going to hit plus new, and we're going to hit bank deposit. So now I'm on step, I just did step 8. Okay, and now we're going to complete the deposit as follows. Okay, so the date is today already. We're going to add funds to this deposit down here. We're going to say that it's received from Books by Bessie. Okay. The account is that account that we looked up, the account that that initial check was written to, which is the legal and professional fees bookkeeper, which was legal and professional fees. And then we're going to say in the description to void check number 12. And the amount is $55. Okay. And we're going to save and close. All right. Now, did we really deposit money in the checking account? No, we're not actually depositing money in the checking account. So we're never going to see that show up on a bank statement. So what do we do? How do we connect? How are we going to connect those two? Can you create a journal entry? I mean, you could create a journal entry for the deposit, yes. It's always best to use a QBO transaction whenever possible. Journal entries are really, oh, Lindsay read my mind. Really, journal entries should only be used for when there is not an option in QuickBooks Online. The reason for that is because the transaction QuickBooks Online captures way more information than the journal entry does. Also, the journal entry doesn't show up, even if you associate it with Books by Bessie, for example, it doesn't show up in the transaction list associated with Bessie. So the question is, what are we going to do? How are we going to get these two things to zero out each other? How are we going to connect them? If an e-transfer was recorded in the previous period but returned in the next period, is it okay to delete? No, because you want to record what actually happened. So you don't want to just delete it as if it never happened. You want to record precisely what you want to record, the transfer and the return. All right. I'm not getting any answers of how are we going to connect these two so that they zero out. They're already zeroed out on the reports, but remember I said, there we go, Val. Woohoo! Yes, bank reconciliation. Remember I said that check, if the check doesn't clear, it's just going to keep showing up on the bank statement. It's just going to keep showing up, keep showing up, keep showing up, keep showing up. You want to get rid of it. We're not going to, we don't want to delete it, but we want it to not show up on the bank statement. So we create this balancing deposit, and that deposit, that's not going to show up on the bank statement either because it's not real. It's not a real deposit. So we need to connect those two and clear them out. Clear them out. Okay. And yes, Val is exactly correct. We're going to do that by reconciling. Okay. So from the left nav bar, we're going to hover over transactions and then select reconcile. Because this is the first time I have reconciled in the sample company. Yes, Francis, the deposit cancels out the outstanding check in the bank reconciliation. Yes, precisely. All right, so but I don't have a bank statement. Okay, here I'm going to go click get started. Oh, we already did that, blah, 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 blah. Okay, here we go. All right, so what are we going to put as our statement ending balance? We don't actually have a statement, but what is the statement ending balance going to be? I'm going to quiz you guys on that one while I take a drink of water. 0. Yes, good. Francis, Rashi, Jonathan, excellent. Brenda, I'm sure you meant to type 0. So yes, so the Okay, I'm sorry. The bank statement is not, the ending bank statement is not zero. The result is zero, okay? So the ending statement is going to be the same as the beginning balance. So there's zero difference. There's zero difference. It's not that the statement ending balance is zero, it's that the difference is zero, okay? So the statement ending balance is, today I think we're using, okay? So we've got this big highlight. This is all the stuff we've talked about. Note that neither of these transactions would appear in the bank feed or as an actual transactions on your bank statement. These are transactions that exclusively live in QBO. The deposit transaction is used to cancel out or void the check transaction from a prior period. Okay, that's what we're doing. Enter today's statement date. Notice that we have this error message. This error message tells us that we have not finished processing the bank feed transactions. And that's okay because neither of these transactions are going to show up on the bank feed. Okay, so I'm going to hit start reconciling. Oh man, I didn't get any pop-ups. It says close any pop-ups that appear. Usually I get them all over the place. All right. So we can, let's see how the exercise tells us we could just scan with our eyeballs to find it, but let's see, it looks like we're using some more tools here. We're going to click type twice to organize the list by transaction type and place checks toward the deposit, towards the top of the list. So I'm going to click type and I don't know, came to the bottom of my list. Let's see, what if I type, oh, it says does type it twice. Okay. All right, so here, okay, type twice, locate the original check for Books by Bessie. By the way, see this check 70, the voided check, okay? We can actually, let me close this so we've got more space here. We can actually do this at the same time because it's zero. And you could do this part while you're actually reconciling at like anytime like you see the zero and you know it's supposed to be there and you just click it, because so you can do that at any time. I don't want to confuse you. All right, so here's that original check, the $55. Okay, and then we're going to locate that deposit, which was also $55, which is right here. And we want that difference to be zero. Again, if you're brand new, if you don't know about reconciling, didn't we do a lesson on reconciling very recently, like last week? So yeah, so find the find the lesson from last week or whatever. And there we go. Okay, so the difference is zero, and we're going to hit finish now. So Deb is asking, so we would type in whatever amount is the beginning balance. If $3.27 is the beginning balance, we enter that for the ending balance, $3.27. And today is the statement ending balance, or in this case, or the check date. It would be the date of the deposit, because the deposit is what you're using to balance. So, but normally, like if you're doing this, you're going to do it all at the same time. All right, so let's see, finish now, blah, 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 done. Okay, now let's take a look at the bank account to see the effects of voiding the check. Okay, so I'm going to open this back up. We're going to go to reports and standard reports. We're going to click balance sheet. We're going to select all dates. If you, by the way, are doing this, some people, when they do this, get the modern view. And the modern view, if you want to switch back to what I'm seeing, you can just click this, switch to, it'll say switch to classic view if you got that. Val says, I would date the deposit the end of the month you are completing and do the reconciliation for the end of that month as well. Yes, that's another way to do it. The method that we are using for this is the method that is in the level 2 training from Intuit. So that's why we chose that. You actually don't have to have a separate you don't have to have a separate reconciliation either. You can just do it. Just remember to do it when you do the actual reconciliation and balance those two. So this is accrual. This is accrual technically. Well, that's a good question, actually. I don't know when we're talking about checks, because the check is in the hands of the other person to deposit. So that's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. All right, so we are writing the report, blah, blah, blah. Let's see, what did we do? We ran the, did we do that? Run the report for the balance sheet. Here we go. Click the checking total. Okay, and my amount is different because I've got both of the, I have both of those voided things in there so that my number is there, but is different, but. Okay, towards the top, you can see the original check, which decreased the balance by $55. I'm going to close this again. Let's see. So we're looking at check number 12. Okay. Bless you. All right, here we go. Check number 12. So here's the $55. So it reduced the checking account by $55. And then we should be able to find that Books by Bessie deposit, which balanced it out or added the $55. Again, I did both of the we all did both of those exercises in the same session of the sample company. Excuse me. And so that's why our numbers are going to be different. Okay. And let's see. Boy, this exercise is going deep. All right, so I'm clicking the deposit. I'm going to click more and then transaction journal. And then here we can see, okay, whoever said, I think it was Jonathan, said that the amount was going to be debited. So you can see this is now the opposite of what it was. So this is the transaction journal for the deposit, and now it's the opposite. So the checking account is debited. That means it was increased. More money went into the checking account, and the expenses were decreased. Less money came out of that expenses account. Okay. All right, and that is the exercise for today. Now, as part of the QBO Gym, you get marketing prompts. So if you go to, let's see, this is that the tab? No, this tab. All right, here we go. I'm going to close this out. So let me actually stop the screen share for a sec. All right. So as part of the QBO Gym, you earn, as you're working through the gym, you earn marketing prompts. And the reason that we added these is that I just kept hearing so many people say, I know I'm supposed to talk, I know I'm supposed to post on social media, but I don't know what to say. And I kept thinking, how is it that you don't know what to say? Like, you're learning something every day. Every day that you're working, like in the gym, you're learning. So we decided after we had the gym for a couple of months, we decided to add marketing prompts. And so as you're working through the gym and as you're learning the different techniques, you're learning how to record a PayPal payment, or you're learning how to make an estimate, or whatever it is. Then, as you've learned that thing, then we award you with marketing prompts that you can then use to for your marketing. With the exercise of the week, we actually give you a prompt for every exercise. Okay, so that's what these are. So let me share my screen again. All right, so here's the first one that we did just about voiding a check. Okay, so you learned about voiding a check. Here's a sample post. QBO Quick Tip. Need to cancel a check? Void it. Don't delete it. Voiding keeps a clear paper trail, which your accountant and future you will appreciate. Deleting can cause confusion, especially during reconciliation. Not sure when to void versus delete? I'm happy to help. Just say the word. So that's something that you could use on social media. Or if you're talking about the second one we did, which is voiding a check in a closed period, excuse me, you could say something like this. Voiding a check in a closed, voiding a check from a closed period, don't just hit void and walk away. Changing past period data can mess with your financial reports and cause reconciliation issues. Here's a smarter way to keep your books clean and your accountant happy. Want to do it right? Let's talk. Okay. All right. So let's talk about these marketing prompts and how you can use them. Let's see. Okay. Sorry, I just was checking the chat. Okay, so let's talk about how you can use them. We, everyone, if you read the newsletter today, if you read the newsletter today, I talked about how I got my first client, okay? And where it came from. And it came from a referral, but it came from a referral with whom I had established a relationship months before that. Like months before that, this person knew that I was pursuing becoming a bookkeeper. They knew that the way I behaved, that I was a smart person, that I was on the ball, that I was a person that added value to the world, that I was an all around like good person. She came to know, like, and trust me. And because I told her, that I was a bookkeeper and I'm pursuing this bookkeeping thing, when she had a client of her own that needed a bookkeeper, she naturally referred me. She naturally referred me because I had already demonstrated that I was valuable. Now, I mentioned last week, for those of you who are brand new, you missed the reference earlier. People were chiming on like spicy Margie, spicy. That came from my business coach. He sometimes gets on our weekly call, and it's a group coaching thing. And he gets on the weekly call, and sometimes he just has like a fire under him, and they call him, and he just like doesn't tolerate people who are not stepping up and being the best that they can be. And when he gets in that mood, they call him Spicy Dan. So that's where the spicy Margie at the beginning of this call came from. So here at Acadian, our goal, our primary goal is to create bookkeepers that are so good, that are head and shoulders above everybody else so much that employers refuse to work with anybody else. I want you to be that good. I want you to be that good. That's why we create all of these training courses. I am not about just selling courses to make money. There are a ton of people there. If that's you, if you just like want to buy any course, there are like a ton of courses out there, bookkeeping courses everywhere. If you want to be an elite bookkeeper, then we love to have you in our world, and we're going to do the best we can to help you become that elite bookkeeper. But you have to be the one to step up. My coach says, if you are swimming toward me, I'm going to do everything I can to help you. But I'm not going to go try and get you if you're swimming away from me. So you have to make the decision. If you are going to be a bookkeeper, you need to step up. You need to be the best that you can be. And you need to constantly tell people that you're a bookkeeper, and not in a, oh, I'm a bookkeeper and like, don't you want to send me some work kind of a way. But you have to present yourself to the world. You have to present yourself to the world as trustworthy. You have to get people to know you, like you, and trust you. So we are going to be, I've always said, those of you who've been around a while have heard me say over and over that we are not a marketing company. But everyone is so hungry for marketing. We're going to start, we're going to start giving you, not selling, because we're not a marketing company, but we're going to start giving you more and more marketing resources for you to be able to market your business. Okay. It starts, we're going to have a free workshop on, what did I say, May 8th? Yeah, May 8th, at 7 p.m. Eastern. I don't have any registration details or links or even like an agenda or anything like that, but that's going to be a some marketing training for you. We're going to start doing these monthly to start, again, free. This hands-on exercise, right, that we do every Friday, this is only for people in the locker room. Okay, this is your reward for being on the locker room. You get to be with us, interact with us, get free exercises, all of that stuff. That's your reward for being in the locker room. These marketing workshops that we're going to do are going to be like for anybody. So like if you know somebody who like wants to come. But here's the thing, here's what you need to understand about marketing. Marketing is eyeballs. It's just about eyeballs. It's about getting eyeballs on you. Okay, that's all it is. You have to then turn those eyeballs into leads. Okay, a lead is, or a prospect, is another word for it, is a person who might actually buy from you. Okay, so that referral that I got from my first client, okay, that was just an eyeball. I was just getting her, to know about me. Then she referred me and she became a, she became, she turned it into a lead for me. Okay. And then I was able to close the client because of who I was and because of how much the referral built me up. I did that because I was already in the place. Like I was already in the place mentally, emotionally, skills, knowledge to be able to close that client. So it doesn't matter how many eyeballs, you get if they don't know, like, and trust you. If you are not showing up every day to be the kind of person that somebody wants to work with, you are not going to have success. I want you to have so much success. I want you to be so good. I want you to be so good. But you're the one that actually has to put in the reps. You're the one that actually has to do it. Okay, I'm going to wrap up this call. A few things extra. If you want more guided hands-on help, we do have a Getting Clients cohort. I think, Lindsay, is today the last day to register for that? I think today might be the last day to register for our May cohort. So this is an opportunity for you to, Lindsay will put it in the, I don't know, Ashley, what link are you? Oh, okay. So Getting Clients cohort for May is closed, but that's okay because you can use May to, like get up your skills and everything. And then we actually start, the next one will be in June. It's an opportunity for you to get some training. We're not a marketing company. We're just going to give you some like basic skills. And then the magic is like doing it together in a group. Okay. So that's coming up. We also have our Acadian Study Hall. which is an opportunity for you to, if you have ever like got a course where it just sat on the shelf and you just never worked through it, the Acadian Study Hall is an opportunity for you to gather with other people and um, work on whatever you need to together. So if it's working on a course, whether it is working on your marketing, whether it's actually doing client work, it's always easier to cancel on yourself than it is on other people. So this is an opportunity. Lindsay's putting all of the links down there so you can find out more about that. Jane says the cohort is fabulous. Oh, Patina says the Getting Clients cohort really helped me step out of my comfort zone. Oh, wow. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I wish I could put this on the screen. Because I'm traveling, I don't have like the thingy, but I have to read this. Patina, this is amazing. The Getting Clients cohort really helped me step out of my comfort zone. I've started attending in-person networking groups, and I can already see that the effort is going to pay off. I just spent 40 minutes chatting with a commercial banker, and by the end of our meeting, he told me I'm now his go-to bookkeeper for referrals. That kind of trust connection, totally worth putting myself out there. Oh my gosh, Patina, that is just like such a great way to end this call, guys. Marcia, you can start registering for the June cohort now. I think Lindsay put that in the chat already. So, and also the QBO gym, by the way, you can also do the gym challenge for free. So if you want to like just check it out, see what it's like, you can do the first month for free. And then if you decide that you like it and you want to continue, then like, whatever discounts and all of that good stuff. So anyway, I'm going to go enjoy San Diego because normally when I'm in the East Coast and I finish this call, it's like the day's half over and now the day is just beginning. So, all right, you guys have a wonderful weekend and I will see you. I will hop on Monday I'll still be in San Diego, but I do a little quick this week at Acadian. So make sure that that's not I mean, it's live, but it's not like this. I just hop on, and tell you what's happening, but you can always check the schedule. By the way, if you ever want to have a conversation with somebody on our team about like what is the best path for you, what do you need to do next, what does this course, that course, etc. cover, you can do that. Lindsay just put the link in the chat just now. And yeah, This Week at Acadian is posted in the Facebook group. And all right, excellent. Patrick, come hear me speak tomorrow. I don't know if it's a ladies only event or not. I think men can be there. All the speakers are women, but I think men can come too. Anyway, all right, that's it. You guys have a wonderful weekend. I can't wait to hear your success story.